Hi, welcome back. Heather here. Create a lifetime of happiness. This is video number 9 of the 30-day series or 30 video series that I am doing of how I shifted my world to one of awareness and positivity and love, deepening that compassion and empathy for others and myself, more importantly. That's a big one. So today our quote, as always, I start off with a quote. If you're here and joining me, say hello. If you're watching the replay, say hello for me. But the quote today is Franklin D. Roosevelt. Take a method and try it. If it fails, admit it frankly and try another. But by all means, try something. I think this is really goes well with what I am sharing with you guys in these videos. Just try something. It doesn't have to be the tips that I've been giving you, but maybe it's something else that you've heard from someone or a feeling that you have of just wanting to do something better for yourself and you know that might make a change. Just try it. And if it fails, okay. I don't really look at things as failure. I look at it more as feedback and learning. So what I like to do is once I try something and maybe I didn't achieve everything I wanted or it wasn't as successful as I thought I wanted it to go, what I ask myself is like, okay, what did I like from that experience? What did go well? And what do I want to do more of next time? What do I want to add more of next time? And seeing it from that light instead of being like, oh, I failed, I suck, what's wrong with me? Seeing it from that light of like wondering, okay, what I liked. Okay, I liked XYZ. And now I want to add next time I want to try adding A, B, and C to it. So that way you're really just furthering it, getting feedback, and then moving more powerfully forward. I love those quotes, are always great reminders and motivation for me. So today, what I'm talking about is widening our lens, growing your perspective. This was a super useful tool for me when I was healing and something I just really appreciate about myself and the people that I surround myself with is the ability to like just see everyone, see myself, see the people that I'm around, living with, and accept them and show them love, no matter if we have differences or not. We might not see eye to eye. I might not agree with them. They might not agree with me, but I can widen my lens and grow my perspective to still accept them and understand them in a different way. Getting caught up in our own life is really, really easy to get caught in our own emotions and thoughts and feelings. And when we're doing that, our lens is so focused in, right? Like we can't see anything else around us. So we're just seeing our like own worries, our own problems, or even when we're really happy, like we just see that joy, that love. We're just so zoomed in on it, right? But when we widen our lens, it gives us that ability to think outside of that. I always like to call it living outside of our virtual reality. And when we don't do that, we become really disconnected from everybody. We become disconnected from ourselves. And we tend to react really strongly and harshly and overreact. Like that's where we start playing those stories, get mad easily, and just like, oh, I'm going to get them and go in attack mode. So that's the issue when we don't widen our perspective, widen that lens, is because we get so narrow focused and we start reacting in ways that don't necessarily match how we truly feel. So what is widening your lens and growing your perspective? Widening your lens is seeing things outside of yourself, seeing things outside of the story you are creating, literally taking the emotion out of it and what you're feeling and just seeing the situation for what it is, like listing it and then widening that perspective for yourself. So truly just seeing the world outside of you, taking you out of the equation and putting more understanding and acceptance there. That's what widening the lens will do for you. And why is it important? It grows our connection to others. It grows our understanding, our acceptance. our compassion and our empathy for other people. And it reduces our own stress, our own worries, and helps us live in a life of more abundance and appreciation. So it's super helpful for that positive mindset of shifting your mindset from the negative. It's a great tool to start practicing each day. And one of the first things that I did when I started practicing this was when I went to widen my lens and I started reading about this and growing my perspective, the biggest tool that I started using, so my first tip for you guys, is when we start to notice like somebody's irritating us or maybe they yelled at us or something, to understand where they are coming from, understand their feelings. So my best example is this. I used to work for a tech company in the support department, and I was helping people run reports and get their books in line. And so a lot of it was deadlines and money. So that's a lot of stress automatically, right? And so I had people yelling at me constantly, frustrated with me, like getting upset with me and our product and what was going on and what they had to do. And it was really easy to get frustrated by that. Maybe I wouldn't yell at them, but then I would sit there and bitch about it for an hour after I get off the phone. And it would really affect me. Like I would be like, what's wrong with them? And then I, get mad and angry and then put myself through hell. And so when I first started practicing that, when somebody would do that, I would pause myself and say, I wonder what they are feeling right now. I wonder what stress and pressure they may be under. Maybe they have a boss like yelling at them and reaming them. Maybe they have a baby at home that does not sleep and they're up with them all night. And then they have their boss yelling at them all day. And then maybe it's causing problems in the relationship. And so they're just constantly under a lot of stress. And maybe it has nothing to do with me, nor the product or the service I am providing, but everything to do with all the other outside factors they have going on in their world. And when I'm able to create that story and understand and put myself in their shoes, it makes me see them as a person. It makes me understand, okay, they really are just wanting love and understanding and feeling like they belong and that they're not messing everything up. And when I'm able to see that person with that lens of widening it and putting it outside of me and what they did to me and how they wronged me, I'm able to offer more understanding. I'm able to open my heart and give that person compassion. Doesn't mean you have to let people be jerks to you or anything, but just allowing yourself to understand why they might be reacting, because more times than not, it has nothing to do with you. The second thing I like to do is say story, story, story. So anytime I am focusing on my problems or I am getting in a fight with someone or there's tension there, or I might misunderstand something through an email, like it's really easy to start creating this story of like what they meant by it, what their intention was behind that action, why they said this, why they did that. And I can go in and replay this over and over and over again and create this crazy story of like, oh, they did this because they don't respect me. They did this because they're trying to be rude to me. Take this away from me. When who knows if that's even true? I'm just creating that story in my head before addressing it and just calling it out. So what I do when those type of situations arise for me is I will literally tell myself, story, story, story. Make my brain stop. And like, you don't know what's going on. Like you're creating something, you're creating this virtual reality that hasn't even happened. So that's the second thing that I like to do. The third thing I like to do when I am widening my lens and growing that perspective is to listen and ask questions. Sometimes, even when we're trying to be open and honest and communicate with the people in our lives, we stop listening. We start worrying about how we're going to respond, what we're going to say, and interpreting what it is they're saying to us and making meaning out of it. So a good thing to do to widen your lens when you notice you're doing that is to ask questions. And that will help develop your listening with that person. Because sometimes you might have caught like the end of the sentence and not the beginning and completely misconstrued the meaning. So when you're doing that, just listen and say, hey, I heard you say this, like, is that what you mean? Like, this is what I am taking from it. Can you clarify that for me? And then that really helps you think outside of yourself, let go of your reaction towards what they might have said, because they might not even meant what you are thinking they meant. So listen and ask questions. So thank you guys for joining. That was my episode 9 of Create a Lifetime of Happiness, shifting us to that positivity and open heart. And today we talked about widening our lens, and that's again by understanding other people's feelings, creating that situation, putting ourselves in their shoes. The second one is telling ourselves story, story, story when we're creating something that hasn't happened. And the third is listening and asking questions. Comment below if any of those tips help. Like, do you use this in your own life, in your own relationships? What are you excited to try to use moving forward? And if you know anybody else that this might be useful for them, please share this video with them. And if you want to connect further, feel free to direct message me. I'm always happy to talk. And I will see you guys Monday, ready for the weekend. And I'll be talking about knowing your truth. Thanks so much. Have a great day.